My name is Steve Masters. I'm the lead game designer on Assassin's Creed 3. Basically, Assassin's Creed is about pivotal moments in history. And when we chose the American Revolution, we knew that the revolution was essentially won because of the influence of the French Navy. In the Battle of Chesapeake Bay, they gained a tactical victory that stopped the British from resupplying their troops, and it meant that eventually Lord Cornwallis had to surrender, so that led to the recognition of the American nation. So, it's absolutely critical to the history. And when we're coming to this time period, we thought, it would be a shame not to treat this. We should be looking at these kinds of subjects, and we thought that there was some gameplay potential there. So we put a couple of guides prototyping just to see if we could actually realize this. And it required a completely new technology as well, like building waves and ships that were able to move with a physics-based wave simulation. It was something completely new for us. So we had to take a lot of risks and try some different things out. But in the end, I think it came together pretty well. Right, so Connor has his boat, the Aquila, and you're going to be commanding that from about halfway through the game. There will be a couple of missions that are on the mainline path, and then a couple of hours of side content. So you're totally in command of the boat. You're navigating, you're shooting, you'll be playing a bunch of different types of missions depending on what's going on. For example, it could be just a straight up combat mission where you're just killing other boats. You could be destroying enemy fortresses on the edge of a peninsula. You could be boarding another boat to kill the captain. So there's a great variety of different things. There are a couple of missions that are kind of explory, but generally you're going to be in one location and completing your mission within that location. So there's no free roaming or exploration on the open sea. You can expect some more inventions, but they tend to be more decorative. Like we're getting inventions from Ben Franklin that he invented things like bifocal glasses, the Franklin stove, a very efficient wood-burning stove. So they weren't really appropriate for the assassin to use. But the assassin has a bunch of different gadgets and tools and things that he can use that will really change up the gameplay. It turns out that Ben Franklin he spent most of the war in France getting their support. So when we came to researching the history, we thought about Ben Franklin as a replacement for Leonardo, but it didn't fit. Like I say, he invented some sort of pretty esoteric or useful stuff that was not really appropriate for an assassin, and he was in the wrong place for most of the game. So you will have your mentor, Achilles, and he's going to train you as an assassin, and he's going to introduce you to some of your new tools like the rope dart, which is a Chinese weapon that you can use to basically reel people in, strike them as soon as they get close to you, hang them from trees and create a huge distraction. So it's a really fun gadget that you get through Achilles. We've spent 3 years rebuilding almost all of our core gameplay. So the combat system is completely new. We've completely refreshed it. All new animations, new positioning systems, how you enter into and exit out of fight is new. The countering system has changed dramatically. And we built enemies with different resistances to all of your moves. So you have to take the right strategy depending on the enemy type that you're facing. So it's more strategic, it's faster, fluid, more dynamic. And then the navigation system had to completely change as well. When we went to the American Revolution, we knew the frontier was going to be a big part of the game. And we wanted to have like an incredibly organic terrain with cliff faces that you can climb, trees to free run inside of, full of animals and all this sort of thing. So like I say, we had to rebuild the navigation system to support this organic terrain. And we had to rebuild the crowd life to have, to support animals inside of it. So there was, really so much has changed across the entire game. Absolutely. In the frontier, you've got a bunch of things to do. There's forts to conquer. There's convoys to ambush and loot. You can, as you're going to be exploring around, you're going to find things like the hunting club. So, example, you'll start hunting, and pretty soon somebody's going to come up and notice that you're a pretty awesome hunter. So you should come join their club. And they're going to give you a series of tasks that are, just challenges, but as well they're going to give you some missions to do, to hunt specific animals in specific places. So it'll take you exploring all over the frontier. And there's a variety of other quests and clubs like this that will, basically make sure that you have plenty of things to do out there. When we come to marketing games, quite often we communicate everything about the game, and when you play it, you know absolutely the entire game, all the mechanics, all of the places that you'll visit and everything like that. And for me, that's kind of a shame. Sometimes I like to be surprised, and we've got some huge surprises that are still left. You haven't seen everything yet.
We haven't seen New York yet.
You haven't seen New York, but that's not all.
How big is going to be New York? Something like Boston or something?
Yeah, it's pretty similar. It's a very big city, and when you get it, it's you get to see part of it before the Great Fire, but a lot of it will be burned down and completely wrecked by the Great Fire. So it's a really interesting and different kind of city to explore. We take our history very seriously. We have a historian on staff who researches, and he finds us everything from the diaries that people were writing, the letters they were writing to each other, where people were, how they died. He found us accurate maps from the period, so we recreated the cities using the road layouts of the era. So we take this history very seriously. And you're going to be experiencing some awesome moments like the Battle of Bunker Hill. You'll be there for Lexington and Concord, the Tea Party, Paul Revere. The battles go on and on. The Battle of Chesapeake Bay, you're going to be there. So yeah, there's many key moments of the history that you'll experience as you play the game. So the single-player mainline story is about 20 hours of gameplay. If you just rush it, if you go really fast through it, that's what you're going to get. But if you do the entire game with all the side content, it's going to keep you going for a lot longer than that.